A very good morning to the students of class 6, and as our periodic test is approaching, so I'd like to have a discussion regarding regarding your syllabus for your periodic test. We have already started the revision part, and today we will be continuing with your chapter, that is the syllabus for your periodic test 2, the garbage in and garbage out. Of course, this is a very practical chapter, because this topic actually is related to your surroundings and your better living. So like when you are talking about talk about what means like living in a standard way, so not only your home need to be beautiful, or it need to be a good one, because a clean one, or your environment in which you are living has also to be a good one and a clean. So that is why it is we human beings, or we the people who are living in the neighborhood should always try to put more attention in cleaning the environment along with our homes, because we do not only live inside our homes, we go out for different purpose, like you all come out for schooling or for your extracurricular activities, or even you come out for some shopping or enjoyment. So you are acquainted with the environment in which you are living. So when you are living in your home, you do not want to live where your home is dirty. So you must have seen your housekeeping people, or even your parents, or even you yourself, what they do, they try to sweep up the floor, clean up the floor, clean up the your beds and all, and then when your clothes get dirty, you clean it up. So that means what does it mean? You need to remain in a very good and clean environment. So you do not want to stay in a place where it is dirty. So suppose your utensil in which you are taking your food is not being cleaned up, I'm sure you will not take your food in that dish. That means, what does it mean? That you want to be in a clean environment, and that is why when you are in a clean environment, you need to have a place where it is clean. So that means the environment also need to be clean. So as I told you all, that there are various waste which are being disposed of in your environment. So what happens here is that when you are talking about that environment, obviously it has to be so many wastes are being given out by the hospitals, by your home, by industries, by factories, right? So that is why you need to even the school, in your school you have seen that when in fact you have seen the thrown out waste, that which you need to be concerned about. So you have seen some dustbins which are actually where it is meant to keep your the waste, right? So now even if you see along the roadside, you will see some dustbins which are being placed by the roadsides, which is for green and which is blue in color. So that means you need to segregate the waste. One is for the dry waste and one is for the wet ones. So what happens here is that there are two types of waste, that is biodegradable and non-biodegradable. The biodegradable waste are which decompose on their own and which are not actually harmful. But the non-biodegradable ones are which takes long million of years, like plastics. It takes million years to decompose. That is why it is non-biodegradable, because it does not decompose very easily. So that is why I told you that reusing and recycling of waste is very important, and segregation, that means separating the waste, is very important for you all. That is why the government, the municipal corporation also have thought in that way. That is why two different bins are being placed along the roadside. One is to keep the wet ones and the dry ones in another bin, so that the segregation, that is the separation of the waste that is biodegradable and non-biodegradable, is a easy one. Now this at homes, in fact, you should have 3 bins. One is for the biodegradable one, the other one is for the non-biodegradable one, and the third one is for the poisonous or toxic materials, like suppose needles, then medicines and all, then batteries or dried paint. So those are actually, or dried shoe polish, those are actually toxic in nature. Toxic means it's poisonous in nature. That is why there should be a separate bin of disposing of the poisonous or toxic materials. Okay, so as I told you, that is why when you are separating the waste into different bins, then what happens, it becomes easier to get to dispose of those waste in a better way. So next is recycling biodegradable waste. Now how can you recycle biodegradable waste? Now, as I told you, that to decompose biodegradable waste is a very easy process, and what we generally, when we are actually throwing, what are biodegradable waste, like the peel of the vegetables or the fruits, or the papers and all, those are biodegradable ones. And that is why even the meat and bones, then leaves, then paper, those are biodegradable. That means they decompose on their own. So when they recycle, so this the method for recycling of the biodegradable waste is by composting. That means what you do, you dig a pit, and then after that you throw the biodegradable waste into that pit, and in between, you, with the help of a spade, you move the lower part, upper, and then you mix it up, so that the waste get it can be cycled. That means the upper part will go down, down part will come up, so it gets this sunlight, and then it gets dries up, and then it gets decomposed. So when it gets decomposed, it can be moved around, and then it can be mixed up with the soil. And when it gets mixed up with the soil, and then you cover it for some time, then what happens, it becomes manure, organic manure, which is good, which we can use it for as a fertilizers for the growth of the plants. And what will happen, that will actually increase the fertility of the soil, and that is known as the organic manure. And it ensures that the waste is moreover, like what happens, suppose you are taking the waste and then you are throwing it out here and there, then what happens, you are throwing the waste out. So that actually, that is a careless disposal of the waste, and then it is it should not be left to decay. And then the manure that is obtained will be also rich in the nutrients, and that is why the nutrients, it is an actual excellent method for growing of plants. And then apart from this, it is also a clean way of disposing of your waste, and then it is also very cheap, so it does not require any money, and also it is also safe. So that is why the environment becomes clean in that way. So next is vermicomposting. Actually, vermicomposting is actually the way of decomposing your waste with the help of red worms. It is a type of worm, earthworm type, so where it actually eats up the manure eats up the waste, and then it converts into manures, and then you can make it in that way that you make a pit, and then what happens, you over that pit you throw the waste in that pit, and then what happens, you add the red worms. After that, the red worms will eat up the waste, and then the excreta which is being given out, it will help to increase the fertility of the soil, and then after it, that organic matters, it will turn into the organic matter, and when you have to remove that part, then what you do, you pour water in one corner, and then that will attract the red worms to that corner, and then after that you remove the worms from that pit, you remove the waste from that pit, and then again it will multiply, the red worms will multiply and will help in the decomposition of the biodegradable waste. So that here I'll end my class here, and please go through the video and also get prepared for your periodic test too, and I hope you will have you will be able to give your periodic test in a better way. So please do take care of your studies as well as your enjoyment, of course. Thank you very much and have a good time ahead.